Londoners say they only visit the countryside once a year or less. That's according to research by outdoor holiday firm Camping in the Forest, which found that when many of us do venture outside the big city, we tend to head straight for the pub. Hilda Burke is a psychotherapist and joins me now to explain more. Now, Hilda, what's going on here? Why are so few of us heading into the great outdoors?
I think it's fear of the unknown. I think we get sort of caught into our routine, and particularly as city dwellers, we're sort of used to, I guess, you know, the fact that we go to the pub, that's our first activity when we go to the countryside. It's a city, one can go to the pub in the city, so one is only sort of replicating an activity that we're used to doing here. So it's kind of staying safe. These are sort of habitual behaviours that we're kind of used to doing, and we miss out on so much in the countryside because of that. I mean, a lot of us can't tell the difference. A third of us in London can't tell the difference between a bluebell and another type of flower, and a third of us can't also identify an oak tree. So it's quite basic stuff that we're missing out on, and I think it's really important for our health and our mental health particularly.
Because this was another part of their research. They quizzed everyone and gave them a bit of a test on what they could, I suppose, know, their knowledge of different types of nature, and we were all quite bad, weren't we? Really
bad, particularly Londoners. And I mean, it sort of stands to reason, if you don't go to the country, if you don't sort of take an interest in what's there in the country in terms of flora and fauna, then you're not going to be able to identify these things.
And is it something to do with the fact that we're a little bit spoilt for choice here in London? There are so many things for us to do, and we have, I suppose, green spaces here that we, I suppose, don't think it's worth venturing outside?
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, just saw the Serpentine Gallery's new gardens there, and they look amazing. But I think there is something about being in the countryside and waking up. You know, camping in the forest allows you to sort of go to, say, the New Forest, which is really handy for London, and sort of stay overnight and wake up to the birds tweeting rather than you tweeting yourself. So I think that's something that's really special about camping, and something that you can't get just by visiting your local park.
And besides the beauty, I mean, what are we missing out on? What are the real benefits, the health benefits of getting out to the countryside?
Well, I think the quality of the air. Firstly, there's been a lot in the news about pollution in London and high CO2. So the country, less cars, so I think that's the first benefit. Secondly, I think there's something in nature, you know, the seasons, you know, the passage of the seasons, the fact that nature isn't in bloom all year round. I think there's a valuable lesson in that. I think when we're in the city, we're used to sort of being always on, 24/7 service and, you know, street lighting, so we don't experience real light or real darkness. And that's something that, being in nature, we can sort of reset our internal body clocks, and I think that's really important for sleep and for, you know, managing our stress, to kind of become a bit more grounded again.
Well, Hilda Burke, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.